You are the God who sees me, the God who never overlooks a single tear, who never turns away from the lonely heart or the trembling soul. You are near to the broken-hearted and close to those who have been pushed aside. You are the Lord who walks into forgotten places, the corners where light rarely reaches, where hope flickers weakly, where silence has become a second language. You go where others will not go. You touch what others will not touch. You love those whom the world has deemed unlovable. You are the same Lord who sat at the table with tax collectors and sinners, who spoke gently to the woman at the well, who looked upon the leper and said, "Be clean." You never avoided the hurting, the shamed, or the outcast. Instead, you made your home among them. You brought heaven to the doorsteps of those the world refused to see. And even now you are doing the same for me. When I feel unseen, you whisper, "I see you." When I feel forgotten, you call my name. When I am lost in the noise of this world, you quiet my heart with peace. You remind me that no one is too far gone, no heart too wounded, no soul too broken to be found by your mercy. You are the God who pursues the shepherd, who leaves the 99 just to find the one. Thank you, Lord, for seeing beauty where others saw failure. Thank you for calling me beloved when I could not see worth in myself. Thank you for meeting me in the ruins of my weakness and building something sacred from the ashes. You are not repelled by my imperfection. You draw near to it, redeem it, and transform it. You do not shame me. You restore me. I remember the moments when life felt too heavy to bear, when disappointment lingered like fog, when prayers seemed unanswered, when silence felt endless. Yet even then, you were there. I could not always feel you, but you were near, holding the edges of my soul together. You were not absent in my pain. You were working within it, molding something eternal in me. Your word says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Every dawn is proof that you have not abandoned us. The sun rises not because of our goodness, but because of yours. Every breath I take is a reminder that your mercy still flows. Sometimes life feels like a balance between joy and sorrow, between laughter and tears, between the promise of heaven and the weight of the earth. Yet even in that tension, you are constant. You are the anchor that holds when waves crash. You are the quiet peace that hums beneath chaos. You are the gentle whisper that says, "Be still. I am with you." There are days when blessings pour down like rain, and days when the sky seems to withhold its light. But you remain the same. You are faithful in the valley as you are on the mountain. You are near in the silence as you are in the song. Your love is not seasonal. It endures through every storm. You are not impressed by our comfort. You are invested in our character. You care more about who we are becoming than about what we are gaining. You allow the refining fire not to destroy us, but to reveal the gold within. Like David, I can say, "It is good that I was afflicted, that I might learn your ways." Affliction became the classroom of faith, and pain became the teacher of grace. In every hardship, you are writing wisdom on my soul. In every delay, you are teaching patience. In every unanswered prayer, you are deepening my trust. You take what the enemy meant for harm and turn it into holy ground. You teach me to worship with empty hands and to praise in the middle of the storm. When fear rises, you remind me that perfect love casts out fear. When worry steals my peace, you remind me that you are my shepherd and I shall not want. When exhaustion pulls me under, you call me to rest, to lay my burdens down, and to breathe again in your presence. I confess, Lord, that I often chase control. I hold on to plans and outcomes, to people and expectations. But tonight I will release them. I place every anxious thought into your hands. I trust that your plan is better than mine, that your timing is perfect, that your silence is not absence. You are the potter and I am the clay. Shape me even when it hurts. Smooth the rough edges even when I resist. Teach me to bend beneath your hands and to find beauty in surrender. Let my heart be soft enough to receive correction, but strong enough to hold on to faith. Lord, I want to love like you love, freely, fully, without fear. Teach me to forgive quickly, to give generously, to see people through the lens of mercy. Let me be an instrument of peace in a world that glorifies anger. Let my words heal, not wound. Let my presence bring calm, not chaos. There are people around me, Lord, who carry invisible burdens. Some smile through pain. Some hide their tears behind laughter. Help me to notice them. Help me to listen to comfort, to pray for them. Help me to reflect your heart to the ones who feel forgotten, just as you remembered me. You said, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me." Remind me that serving others is not a task, it is worship. It is my love for you translated into action. Every act of kindness, every whispered prayer, every gesture of compassion is a way of saying, "I remember how you loved me first." Lord, I don't deserve your grace, but you give it anyway. I don't deserve forgiveness, but you pour it out endlessly. I don't deserve this love that never fails, yet you call me your own. You give me what I could never earn, and you withhold what I truly deserve. That is mercy, that is grace, that is you. When I fall, you lift me. When I doubt, you reassure me. When I wander, you chase after me. When I am faithless, you remain faithful. You are the constant heartbeat of my hope. Teach me to love you with all my heart, with all my soul, and with all my mind. Let my life be an echo of devotion, a living prayer that says, "Lord, I am yours." When I wake, may my first thought be gratitude. When I work, may my labor bring you glory. When I rest, may my soul breathe in your peace. You are the stillness after the storm, the calm after the chaos. You are the hand that wipes every tear, the voice that whispers, "You are safe." You are not a distant God. You are the breath within me, the peace that holds me together. I lift up those who feel forgotten tonight, the ones whose prayers have gone unanswered, the ones who feel unseen, the ones who are weary of waiting. Lord, remind them that you see every tear. Wrap them in your comfort. Let them feel your nearness like a warm blanket over a shivering soul. For the one who feels unworthy, whisper, "You are loved." For the one who feels lost, whisper, "I will guide you." For the one who feels empty, whisper, "My grace is enough." Even in our silence, you are speaking. Even in our waiting, you are working. Even in our weakness, you are strong. You are the God who sits beside the sinner, who heals the wounded, who feeds the hungry, who lifts the humble. You are the King who stoops low to wash our feet. You are the Savior who traded glory for a crown of thorns. You are love made flesh. Tonight, I rest in that love. I lay down my worries. I quiet my thoughts. I breathe deeply and let your peace fill every space in me. I trust that tomorrow will bring new mercies, new hope, new light, because you have promised it will. You are my refuge and my portion forever. You are my shepherd in the valley, my comfort in the night, my strength when I am weak, my song when I am silent. You are the reason I can rest without fear. I will not be afraid, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a table before me, even in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I close my eyes, knowing that I am held. I sleep beneath the shadow of your wings. I rest in the embrace of a faithful God, the God who never forgets, the God who never forsakes, the God whose love endures forever. Lord, you are the dawn after a long night. When I open my eyes each morning, it is your mercy that greets me first. Before I take a single breath, before I speak a single word, your compassion is already washing over me like soft light through open windows. You do not count the failures of yesterday against me. You do not greet me with anger or distance. Instead, you draw me close and whisper, "I am here. Begin again." Your word says that your mercies are new every morning and your faithfulness is great. Those words hold me when I cannot hold myself. They remind me that even when I fall short, you are not finished with me. Even when I am weary, your patience is endless. Even when I am unfaithful, your love remains unchanging. I thank you, Lord, for the mercy that met me when I did not deserve it, for the forgiveness that came before the apology, for the kindness that waited when I wandered away. You are not a God who keeps score. You are a Father who keeps the door open. There have been mornings when I awoke with heaviness, when yesterday's mistakes sat like stones in my chest. But you, Lord, lifted the weight with a single breath of grace. You whispered into the quiet of my shame, "My child, you are forgiven. My grace is sufficient for you." And somehow the darkness loosened its grip. Somehow the day began again with hope. Your mercy is not fragile. It does not run out when I fail. It is an ocean with no shore, a river that never stops flowing. No sin is too deep, no wound too old, no heart too hardened for your compassion. You meet me at the edge of my despair and remind me that love always wins. There are times when I do not understand why you love me as you do. I see my flaws, my inconsistencies, my fears, my pride, yet you see a soul worth redeeming. You look beyond my scars and call me by name. You look into the fragments and still see something whole. You see what I can become, not just what I am now. Lord, I marvel at how patient you are with me. I have doubted you, questioned you, resisted you, and still you have never turned away. You wait for me with open arms. You wait for me to trust again. You wait for me to let go. Your mercy teaches me gentleness. It teaches me how to forgive others as you forgive me. It teaches me to look at the hurting not with judgment, but with understanding. Because I too have been forgiven much. I too have been rescued from the edge. Help me, Lord, to be slow to anger and quick to show grace. Help me to extend mercy, not because people deserve it, but because you have shown it to me first. Let my heart be a reflection of your heart. Let my words be an echo of your compassion. When I walk among the proud and the broken, the loud and the lost, help me to remember that I am not above anyone. We are all beggars before your table, all sinners in need of grace, all children craving mercy. Let me never forget that my salvation was not earned, it was given. There are moments when I wish for a perfect life free from pain and confusion. But then I remember that mercy shines brightest in the dark. It is in my weakness that your strength is made perfect. It is in my need that your goodness becomes real. And it is in my repentance that your mercy blooms like morning light. Lord, I thank you for the countless second chances, for the times you spared me from things I didn't even know would destroy me, for the doors you closed that I cried over only to later realize they were for my protection. You have been my unseen defender, my quiet rescuer, my constant friend. Your mercy does not only forgive, it rebuilds. It restores what was broken. It turns ashes into beauty, fear into faith, despair into praise. It takes what the enemy meant for evil and uses it for good. You weave redemption into the very threads of my story until my scars become songs of gratitude. When I look back at my life, I see your fingerprints everywhere, in the moments of victory and in the moments of heartbreak. You were there. When I thought I was alone, you were standing beside me. When I lost direction, you gently led me back. When I failed you covered me with grace instead of condemnation. There were nights I did not pray yet, you still kept me. There were days I turned away, yet you still provided. There were seasons when I grew cold, yet you still loved me. Truly, Lord, your mercy has carried me further than my strength ever could. You do not love me because I am worthy. You love me because you are good. Your goodness cannot be earned. It cannot be diminished. It cannot be taken away. It is who you are. It is steady, pure, everlasting. I pray that I will never take this mercy for granted. Let me not become numb to your grace. Let me not treat forgiveness as cheap or love as ordinary. Keep my heart tender, Lord. Keep it soft enough to feel your conviction, open enough to receive your correction, grateful enough to always give you praise. When I am tempted to be harsh, remind me of how gentle you were with me. When I am tempted to give up on someone, remind me that you never gave up on me. When I grow weary of showing grace, remind me of how freely you pour it out every single morning. Teach me, Lord, to live a life of mercy, not only to receive it, but to release it. Let my home be a refuge for the weary. Let my words heal rather than harm. Let my prayers carry the broken into your presence. Let my love be a reminder that you are still near. There are so many who walk through the night carrying guilt like chains. So many who have convinced themselves that they are too far gone, too stained, too unworthy to be forgiven. But your mercy says otherwise. Your mercy says, come home. You are not a God of condemnation. You are a God of restoration. You are not keeping a record of wrongs. You are writing a story of redemption. You do not point at our failures. You point to the cross. That is where every sin was paid for, every shame washed away, every heart set free. Thank you for the cross, Jesus. Thank you for the blood that speaks better things than my past ever could. Thank you for the grace that reached into the darkest corners of my life and called me into light. Thank you for the mercy that followed me even when I ran from you. You said, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And I have found that rest in you, not because my life is easy, but because you are present. You are my stillness in the storm, my peace in the chaos, my anchor when the waves rise. When fear whispers, you are not enough, I will answer, His grace is sufficient. When guilt says, you have failed, I will reply, His mercy is new this morning. When shame shouts, you are unworthy, I will stand firm and say, I am redeemed. You are my refuge. Lord, my hiding place, my heart's safe home. When I fall, you catch me. When I wander, you guide me. When I grow silent, you speak love over me. I do not walk alone. Your presence walks beside me, your spirit within me, your mercy behind me, and your promises before me. Wherever I go, grace follows. I choose today to walk slowly, to notice mercy in small things. The laughter of a child, the sunrise, the sound of rain on my window, the quiet moments when your peace fills the room. These are reminders that heaven is near. Teach me to live with gratitude, Lord, to see blessings in the ordinary, to find joy in the simple, to be content in every circumstance. Gratitude turns my heart toward you. It reminds me that I lack nothing in your presence. When I am weak, you are strong. When I am empty, you fill me. When I am lost, you light the way. Your mercy sustains me like daily bread, enough for this day, enough for this moment. I do not need to have it all figured out. I do not need to carry tomorrow's weight. I only need to rest in your goodness today. You will handle the rest. So tonight I lay down my worries. I place them at the foot of your cross. I will not fear what tomorrow holds because you hold tomorrow. I will not dwell on my failures because you have already forgiven them. I will not question my worth because you have already declared it through your love. Thank you, Lord, for the mercy that never ends, for the love that never quits, for the peace that never fades. I rest in you now, in the safety of your embrace, in the gentleness of your grace, in the endless rhythm of your mercy that sings over me even as I sleep. Great is your faithfulness, Lord. Great is your mercy. Great is your love. And my soul is at peace. Lord, faith is not always loud. Sometimes it is a whisper trembling in the dark, clinging to your name when everything else has fallen away. Sometimes it is the quiet choice to rise again, to believe again, to love again. Faith does not always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like survival, but you honor even the smallest seed of faith, even the faintest yes that comes from a weary heart. You said that if we have faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move mountains, and I believe that, Lord. But sometimes the mountain that needs moving is inside of me, the mountain of fear, of doubt, of anxiety. Sometimes the miracle is not that the obstacle disappears, but that I find strength to keep walking. That too is faith. I thank you, Lord, for teaching me that faith is not the absence of questions, but the presence of trust. It is not the denial of pain, but the decision to cling to hope in the middle of it. You never asked me to understand everything. You only asked me to believe that you are good, even when I cannot see the reason behind the storm. There are days when faith feels effortless, when prayers flow easily, when peace fills every corner of my being. But there are also days when faith feels like a battle, when doubt shouts louder than truth, when hope flickers, when silence lingers too long. Yet in those moments, you are still God. You are still near, and you still call me to stand firm. Faith that endures is not born in comfort. It is formed in fire, refined in trial, strengthened in the waiting. The faith that stands unshaken is not the faith that never faced storms, but the one that learned to worship in the middle of them. Lord, help me to build that kind of faith, the kind that does not depend on outcomes, the kind that does not crumble when prayers are delayed, the kind that trusts even when I cannot trace your hand. Teach me to believe that even unanswered prayers are not wasted, that even closed doors are covered by grace. You have never failed me. Even when I thought you were silent, you were speaking through circumstances. Even when I felt lost, you were guiding me one step at a time. Even when I doubted, you held me tighter. I remember the times when I prayed for strength and you did not remove the burden. Instead, you made my shoulders stronger. I prayed for patience and you allowed me to wait. I prayed for peace and you taught me to trust. Every unanswered prayer was an invitation to deeper faith. Your grace has always carried me further than my fear. You have led me through seasons I thought would break me, and you turned them into the foundation of my faith. You never wasted a single tear. Each one watered the soil of endurance. Faith that endures is not a feeling, it is a posture. It is the heart that bows low before you and says, even if not, you are still good. It is the soul that refuses to give up even when the evidence seems against it. It is the steady gaze fixed on you when everything else demands my attention. When I cannot see the path, you become my light. When I cannot hear the answer, you become my peace. When I cannot find the way, you become the way. You are not only the God I pray to, you are the God who walks beside me through the valley. Your word reminds me that those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Lord, I want to wait like that, not in frustration, but in expectation, not in fear, but in faith, not with clenched fists, but with open hands ready to receive whatever you decide is best. There are days when I long to see the finish line, to know how every story ends, but you ask me to trust you in the middle, in the not yet, in the still waiting. You remind me that the middle is where faith matures, where roots grow deep, where hope becomes unshakable. I confess, Lord, there have been times when I wanted to give up, when prayers felt empty, when hope felt foolish. But you met me in those moments. You didn't scold me. You held me. You didn't demand strength. You offered grace. You whispered, "Keep going, I am with you." And I did. And here I am, still believing, still trusting, still standing. Not because I am strong, but because you are. Lord, let my faith be more than words. Let it be a way of living. Let it be the way I love, the way I forgive, the way I persevere. Let it show in how I treat those who hurt me, in how I speak when no one listens, in how I choose hope over despair. Let my faith leave traces of your light wherever I walk. There is a beauty in endurance, a quiet strength that does not boast, but simply remains. That is the kind of faith I want, Lord. Not loud, not showy, but steadfast. The kind that stays when feelings fade. The kind that keeps believing when miracles seem delayed. The kind that keeps praying when nothing seems to change. Teach me to walk by faith, not by sight. When the way is unclear, let me lean into your promises. When I am tempted to fear, let me remember that you have already gone before me. When I am uncertain, remind me that my future is secure in your hands. You have said my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Lord, I offer you my weakness. I will stop pretending that I have it all together. I will stop trying to control what was never mine to begin with. I will rest in your sufficiency. Faith that endures does not need to see the outcome to believe in the promise. It does not demand proof before it praises. It does not wait for the victory to sing. It worships in the waiting, it praises in the pain, it loves through the loss. And so I choose to believe even now. I choose to believe that you are working all things together for my good. I choose to believe that every delay has divine purpose. I choose to believe that you will finish what you started in me. Sometimes faith looks like standing still when everything in me wants to run. Sometimes faith looks like taking one small step when fear screams to stop. Sometimes faith looks like tears on my pillow and whispers of trust in the dark. And you, Lord, see it all. You count every tear. You honor every act of surrender. You strengthen every trembling heart that dares to say, I still believe. You are faithful to those who trust in you. You never forget a prayer whispered in pain. You never ignore a cry from the depths. You never waste a moment of suffering. You gather it all and turn it into glory. I want my faith to be real, not just words on my lips, but truth in my living. Let it shape how I think, how I love, how I forgive, how I endure. Let it overflow into the way I speak peace into chaos, the way I choose hope over fear, the way I stand on your promises, even when the ground feels shaky. Lord, I don't need a faith that impresses people. I need a faith that pleases you. I need a faith that holds steady in the unseen, a faith that clings to grace when logic fails, a faith that remains rooted when storms come. Remind me, Lord, that endurance is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is about standing when I'd rather fall, believing when I'd rather quit, loving when I'd rather close off my heart. Endurance is love stretched over time and faith that refuses to let go. I know that you are with me in every moment, in every silence, in every waiting, in every sigh. You are not a distant observer. You are the strength within me. You are the voice that says, peace, be still. You are the reason I keep going. You are faithful in the valley and faithful on the mountaintop. You are faithful in the drought and faithful in the rain. You are faithful in the beginning and faithful in the end. My heart rests in that truth. Tonight I let go of the need to understand and hold fast to the decision to trust. I will walk by faith even when the path is hidden. I will sing even when I don't feel like it. I will believe even when it hurts, because you are worthy of my trust. I lift my hands not in certainty, but in surrender. I open my heart not because I have no fear, but because I choose faith over fear. I place my life again into your hands, Lord, steady, sovereign, loving hands. Let my life be a testimony of endurance, not because I never stumbled, but because I never stopped returning to you. Let others see that faith is not about perfection, but about relationships. It is not about avoiding storms, but about knowing who commands the wind. And so I rest tonight, Lord, not because everything is perfect, but because I know you are. I rest not because I have all the answers, but because I trust the one who does. My faith endures not because I am strong, but because you are faithful. Your love has been my anchor. Your mercy has been my shelter. Your presence has been my constant. And so even in uncertainty, I have peace. Even in weakness, I have strength. Even in the unknown, I have faith that endures. Lord, If mercy is the hand that lifts me, then grace is the breath that gives me life again. Grace is the gentle light that enters every corner of my brokenness and says, "You can begin anew." Grace does not wait for perfection. It meets me in my weakness. It does not ask if I am ready. It simply arrives, bringing peace to the places I thought were beyond healing. Your grace, Lord, is the greatest mystery of my life. It reaches me even when I am running away. It calls me by name when I am hiding. It restores me when I think all is lost. It paints beauty over the ruins of my past and turns my failures into the foundation of my faith. There are no limits to your grace, no distance too far, no sin too deep, no heart too cold for you to revive. You step into my mess without hesitation. You take my ashes and form something holy. You do not demand that I fix myself before coming to you. You say, "Come as you are, and I will make you whole." I thank you, Lord, for the countless times your grace has carried me when I could not carry myself, for the moments when guilt screamed louder than truth, yet your voice whispered louder still. You are forgiven. You are free. For the days when shame tried to define me, yet your mercy reminded me of who I am in you. You see the parts of me that no one else sees, the fears, the failures, the unspoken prayers, and yet you love me completely. You never turn away in disappointment. You draw closer. You see the cracks and pour your light into them until they shine. Your grace does not erase my past. It redeems it. It takes what once brought pain and transforms it into purpose. What once broke me now becomes a testimony of your power. My weakness becomes a stage where your strength performs its greatest work. Lord, how gentle you are. You do not scold, you restore. You do not crush the bruised reed, you mend it. You do not extinguish the smoldering wick. You breathe upon it until it burns bright again. There have been times when I thought I was too far gone, that I had failed too deeply, fallen too often. But every time you met me with compassion, every time you extend grace instead of wrath, you covered my guilt with mercy and clothed my shame with dignity. You turned my mourning into dancing, my despair into song. Your grace is not fragile. It is fierce in its love, relentless in its pursuit. It chases me through the wilderness and waits for me at the edge of my rebellion. It is patient when I am stubborn, constant when I am fickle, and unshakable when everything else gives way. Lord, teach me to rest in that grace, not to strive for approval, not to earn what you have already freely given. Let me remember that grace is not a wage for good behavior. It is a gift for the repentant heart. Let me wake each morning knowing I am loved not because of what I do, but because of who you are. When I stumble, remind me that grace does not keep score. It welcomes me back every time. When I fail to meet my own expectations, remind me that you are not disappointed. You are near ready to guide me again. Your word says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Lord, I bring you all my weaknesses, all my flaws, all the things I try to hide. I place them before you, trusting that you will turn them into something beautiful. Grace is the soil where transformation grows. It softens what has hardened. It heals what has been wounded. It renews what has decayed. It teaches me to live not in fear, but in freedom. And in this freedom, I discover who I truly am, not a slave to the past, not a prisoner to guilt, but a beloved child of God. Your grace does not just save me, it changes me. It reshapes my desires, reorders my priorities, and rewrites the story of my life. Lord, I do not want to merely speak of grace. I want to live it. I want to extend it as freely as I have received it. I want to look at others the way you look at me, through the eyes of compassion, not judgment. I want my words to heal, not wound, my hands to bless, not harm. Let your grace be the melody that flows through my life, a quiet song that points others to you. When people encounter me, let them feel seen, valued, and loved, not because of who I am, but because of who you are in me. There is power in grace, power to break chains, to restore peace, to reconcile hearts. It is the power that takes bitterness and turns it into forgiveness, takes anger and turns it into understanding, takes pride and turns it into humility. Lord, make me an instrument of that grace. Where there is hurt, let me bring healing. Where there is confusion, let me bring peace. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Let my life become a mirror that reflects the kindness of heaven. When I think of your grace, I think of the cross, the place where justice and mercy met, where love bore my punishment and gave me freedom instead. You. Jesus stretched out your arms and declared, "It is finished." And in those words, grace was born for all mankind. You paid a debt I could never repay. You endured shame I could never bear. You offered forgiveness I could never deserve. And you did it all out of love. I cannot comprehend such grace, that you would leave glory to walk among dust, that you would choose a crown of thorns over a throne of gold, that you would call me friend when I was still a sinner. Such love is too great to measure, too deep to understand, too perfect to explain. And yet I feel it. I feel it when I kneel in prayer and sense your peace wash over me. I feel it when I fail and you remind me that I am still yours. I feel it when I look at the sunrise and remember that new mercies await me every morning. Lord, help me to never lose wonder for your grace. Let it always move me to gratitude, to worship, to awe. Let me never grow numb to the miracle of being loved by you. There are so many voices in this world that speak of earning and deserving, of performance and perfection, but your voice whispers differently. It says, "Be still. I have already made you enough." You do not ask me to climb higher. You meet me where I am. You do not ask for perfection. You ask for surrender. You do not measure me by my mistakes. You measure me by your mercy. I lay down my pride tonight, the pride that says I must fix myself before I am worthy of love. I lay down the fear that says I am too far gone. I lay down the guilt that says I can never change. And I lift my eyes to the cross where grace speaks louder than all my doubts. You said my yoke is easy and my burden is light, so I give you the burdens. I was never meant to carry the shame, the worry, the striving, the endless pressure to be enough. I exchange them for your rest. Your grace does not leave me where it found me. It calls me higher. It invites me into holiness, not through fear but through love. It teaches me that obedience is not a chain but a choice made in gratitude. I follow you not to earn acceptance, but because I am already accepted. Lord, shape me into a vessel of grace. Let every trial refine me, not define me. Let every failure push me closer to your heart. Let every new day remind me that transformation is not a single event, but a lifelong journey of becoming more like you. When I am impatient with myself, remind me that grace takes time. When I am tempted to condemn others, remind me that grace is still working in them too. When I am weary of waiting, remind me that grace grows quietly, often unseen, but always unstoppable. Thank you for your transforming power. Thank you for turning wounds into wisdom and scars into stories of redemption. Thank you for making beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, strength from surrender. Grace is not a moment I receive. It is a river I live in. It flows around me, through me, and beyond me. It washes away what was and brings forth what can be. So tonight I rest in that river. I let it carry me. I let it cleanse me. I let it change me. I will not resist the current of your love. I will not cling to who I was. I will let grace do what grace does, transform me from the inside out. And when morning comes, I will rise not as who I used to be, but as who you are shaping me to become, a little more patient, a little more kind, a little more whole. You are the God of new beginnings, the God who restores, rebuilds, renews, the God whose grace never runs out. And so I end this prayer with gratitude. Gratitude for grace that saves, grace that sustains, grace that transforms. Lord, take all that I am, the broken, the fearful, the imperfect, and breathe upon it again. Make me a reflection of your love. Let my life tell the story of your transforming grace. In your presence, I am changed. In your mercy, I am made new. In your grace, I am home. Lord, your love is the beginning and the end of everything. Before I took my first breath, you loved me. Before I spoke your name, you called me yours. Before I knew what mercy was, you had already written forgiveness into my story. There has never been a moment of my life untouched by your love. Even when I didn't see it, even when I resisted it, your love was there, constant, unwavering, patient. Your love, Lord, is not like the love of this world. It does not change with the seasons or fade with time. It does not depend on my performance, nor does it vanish when I fail. Your love is eternal, a steady flame that cannot be extinguished by doubt, fear, or distance. You have loved me through every season, through joy and sorrow, through clarity and confusion, through faith and failure. There were times when I walked far from you. Yet you never walked away from me. You followed me into my darkness, not to condemn, but to redeem. You found me lost and called me home. Your love is the greatest truth I have ever known. It heals wounds that words cannot reach. It quiets the fears that reason cannot silence. It fills the emptiness that the world can never satisfy. Lord, there are no words that can capture the depth of your affection. It is higher than the heavens, deeper than the sea, stronger than death, and sweeter than life itself. It is a love that gives everything, a love that stretches its arms wide upon the cross and says, "This is how much I love you." You are not a distant God who loves from afar. You are Emmanuel, God with us. You step into our humanity, our pain, our weakness. You walk beside us in the dust and you lift us when we fall. You do not just tell us that you love us. You prove it again and again. When I think of your love, I see it in the sunrise that announces new mercies. I feel it in the stillness of prayer when peace washes over me. I recognize it in the forgiveness that covers my past, in the patience that holds me when I fail, in the hope that keeps my heart beating when I'm weary. Your love is not passive. It pursues, it seeks, it rescues. It does not wait for me to climb out of the pit. It climbs down to meet me there. You never give up. You never grow tired of saving. You never turn away in disgust. Even when I have been faithless, you have remained faithful. Even when I have doubted your plan, you have continued to lead me gently back to peace. Even when I have been angry, broken, and lost, you have stayed whispering, "I still love you." What kind of love is this, Lord? A love that washes the feet of its betrayers. A love that prays for its enemies. A love that sees the worst in me and still calls me beautiful. It is a love that gives without expecting anything in return, that forgives before I even ask, that restores even when I do not deserve it. You said that the greatest commandment is to love you with all my heart, soul, and mind, and to love my neighbor as myself. Lord, I long to live in the fullness of that commandment, but I know I can only love because you first loved me. I cannot give what I have not received, so pour your love into me again until it overflows into every part of my life. Teach me to love with patience when people are difficult, when situations are frustrating, when hearts are hard to reach. Teach me to love with kindness through gentleness in words, compassion in action, and humility in heart. Teach me to love with forgiveness, to release grudges, to let go of bitterness, to make peace where there has been pain. Let my love not be just emotion, but devotion. Let it not be fleeting, but faithful. Let it not be shallow, but deep-rooted in your example. There are moments when loving feels costly, when it means letting go of pride, when it means being misunderstood, when it means choosing peace over being right. But that is the way you loved, Lord. You loved with sacrifice. You loved with wounds. You loved without condition. Let me love like that. Let me love the way you loved me, with open hands and an open heart. Let me love without fear of rejection, without counting what I give, without seeking anything in return. Because true love is not about being repaid. It is about revealing you. Your love transforms everything it touches. It turns enemies into brothers, strangers into family, despair into hope. It has the power to heal what the world has broken, to restore what hatred has destroyed. Lord, where there is division, let your love reconcile. Where there is judgment, let your love bring understanding. Where there is hurt, let your love bring healing. Where there is fear, let your love bring peace. Make me an instrument of that love. When others see me, let them see a reflection of your heart. When they hear me, let them hear your kindness in my words. When they encounter me, let them feel the warmth of heaven in my presence. I know that love is not always easy. It requires humility, vulnerability, and courage. But I also know that love is the most powerful force in creation, for you are love, and love never fails. When I am tempted to give up on someone, remind me that you never gave up on me. When I want to close my heart, remind me of how you opened yours. When I struggle to forgive, remind me of the cross and the words you spoke. Father, forgive them. Your love has no end, no condition, no limit. It flows like a river that never runs dry. It is the reason I can face tomorrow, the reason I can stand after falling, the reason I can breathe in peace, even in the storm. Thank you for loving me beyond understanding. Thank you for loving me when I was unlovable. Thank you for loving me not because of what I could give, but because of who you are. I cannot repay your love, Lord, but I can reflect on it. I can choose to live as an echo of your heart, forgiving, giving, serving, and believing. Let your love fill my home, Lord. Let it be the foundation of my relationships, the atmosphere of my conversations, the motivation behind my actions. Let it guard my heart when anger rises. Let it soften me when the world grows hard. Let it steady me when fear whispers lies. Love is not weak, it is the greatest strength of all. It endures all things, believes all things, hopes all things. Love never gives up, never loses faith, never fades. Your love, Lord, is my refuge. It wraps around me when I feel alone. It reminds me that I belong to you, that I am not forgotten, not forsaken, not unloved. And even when I cannot feel it, I know it remains. For love is not a feeling, it is a fact. The cross is my proof. The empty tomb is my assurance. The presence of your Spirit is my witness. There are days when my heart aches for the brokenness of this world, for the wars, the cruelty, the loneliness, the suffering. But then I remember that your love has not left the world. It still works quietly, through kindness, through prayer, through hands that serve and hearts that forgive. Help me to be part of that work. Help me to love beyond comfort, beyond convenience, beyond myself. Help me to see people not as problems to be solved, but as souls to be cherished. Let my love be strong enough to face rejection and gentle enough to heal wounds. Let it be steadfast enough to endure and humble enough to learn. Lord, your love is the thread that weaves everything together. Mercy, faith, grace, and hope. Without it, I am nothing. But with it, I have everything. Let my life be a living testimony that your love truly never fails. When others lose hope, let my faith remind them. When they feel unworthy, let my compassion reassure them. When they are lost, let my peace guide them home to you. Even now, I feel your love surrounding me in the air. I breathe in the silence that speaks peace, in the stillness that whispers, you are mine. You loved me before I was born, and you will love me beyond the grave. Nothing can separate me from that love, not death or life, not angels or demons, not fears for today or worries about tomorrow. Your love stands eternal, and so I surrender once more to it. I let your love heal what is broken, fill what is empty, and strengthen what is weak. I rest in it as in the arms of a father. Because of your love, I can forgive myself. Because of your love, I can face the unknown. Because of your love, I can live without fear. Your love is my identity, my anchor, my song. It defines me more than my past ever could. It carries me when I cannot walk. It lifts me when I fall. It renews me every single day. So tonight, Lord, I thank you for mercy that never ends, faith that endures, grace that transforms, and love that never fails. Let this love live in me forever. Let it shape my words, guide my steps, and overflow into every life I touch. And when I breathe my final breath, may my heart still whisper, Jesus, I love you. Because even in eternity, love will remain. It is the one thing that will never fade, never fail, never end. Your love, Lord, is forever. And forever, I am yours. Amen.